All right, all right. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. What's going on, sis? How you feeling today? You made it in here today, huh? See, we got two new brothers in here today. Yeah, right, all right, all right. Listen, the title of today's class is The Custom of the People of Vain. Listen, we all know Christmas is coming up right now, right? Everybody's going to be out there celebrating Christmas, the so-called oppressor's holiday. You understand? Not understanding that the Most High told us we are not to celebrate our oppressor's holiday. We are not to celebrate unholy holidays. You understand? Anything that the oppressor celebrates is an unholy holiday. They don't celebrate what we were told to celebrate in the Bible. You understand? They celebrate Christmas. They celebrate New Year's. All of these things come from pagan holidays. You understand? These are this a lot of these holidays come from Greek mythology. You understand? Even with the New Year's, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas. You understand? All of these things fall within that. You understand? If I'm not mistaken, Nero's mother is one where Christmas began at. You understand? His spirit's supposed to be in the evergreen tree. That's why it stays green all year round. And you were supposed to make tribute to Nero. You were supposed to come kneel down. That's why they put the gifts under the tree. You're kneeling to Nero. You're sticking the gifts under the Salakia, Nimrod, and you're sticking the gifts under the tree. You understand what I'm saying? And you're paying tribute. The people who did not pay tribute and did not kneel and did not bring a gift, they got unalived and their head was severed and placed on the tree. That's where you get the bulbs from. You understand? The Christmas bulbs you put on the tree? The little round thing that you put on the tree that you hang from the tree. That's where that was supposed to come from. That's all a part of that custom. You understand? We're gonna read a little bit. We're gonna read a little bit and get into it. The first scripture. Y'all got y'all Bibles out. Everybody got their Bible out. Anybody need one? We're gonna the first scripture we're gonna go to Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. We're gonna start there first. You understand? A lot of these customs and culture, the reason why we suffer like as we do is because we go and we follow our oppressor. Most High told us not to fall into the customs and cultures and the ways of our oppressor. You understand? We were told that when we were back in Egypt, in captivity in Egypt. The children of Israel cried out to the Most High. That's why they were delivered from Egypt. They began to move away from what the Egyptians were doing. You understand? What the so-called Africans were doing. This is the reason why they were delivered from Egypt. But the Bible also tells us that we are going to go back into Egypt or slavery again by way of ship. You understand? As a matter of fact, just to hedge way into that, let's go to that first. Let's go to hold that Jeremiah 10 and 2, and we're going to jump to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. Because of disobedience, we go through the pangs that we go through. We go through the suffering that we go through because we want to follow the oppressor. If you think about it, when you watch the news at night, especially around holiday time, it seems that violence and everything goes up around holiday times. And it's supposed to be a good time. It's supposed to be a happy time. We're supposed to be celebrating, right? But why is it that, evils go up and evils are multiplied around the oppressor's holidays? Because they are unholy to the Most High. And because we pin ourselves with our oppressor, we are the ones who most likely suffer around that time. Whether it be not having enough money and doing illegal things to get that money to give out gifts and things like that. This is the reason why we suffer. You understand? So let's read that Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
And Yahweh shall bring you into
Hold up.
that's it. I'm reading from the center. The KJV.
Oh, you got the King James?
It says the living Bible.
I can read it. I can read it. I can read it, sir.
Before we start,
Come on, come.
here we're going to read the KJV. That's the most accurate translation of the Bible. Everybody understand?
Come on, sir.
KJV is the most accurate translation.
Come on.
Right?
I'm gonna start reading it all. I'm gonna read it.
Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
So when we read out the KJV, you can go to your phone or you can use the Bible that's already had. Use KJV. Right? It's the most accurate translation.
You got that, sis?
Deuteronomy 28, 68.
Come on, sir.
And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again.
It says the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again. You understand? That means we were already in captivity. We were already in captivity from already being disobedient. But just like we were talking about earlier, we cried out to the Most High when we were in Egypt the first time, and the Most High delivered us from out of Pharaoh's hand. You understand? It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. You understand? Now, that's why we asked that question, what nation of people were brought into captivity by way of slave ship? By way of ship, period. You understand? You got something, Cap? How many people, what other nation of people were brought into captivity by way of slave ship? Come on, sir. Brandon. Right.
I was mentioning earlier before the class started about the Northern tribe coming over here after the Assyrian Empire.
Right.
We got to the Americans by the way of
Ship.
By the way of water.
Right. And how did Christopher Columbus take them back? Christopher Columbus took them back by way of ship. This was their second captivity starting back then. And then our second captivity started by way of slave ship, cargo slave ship, the transatlantic slave trade. And go ahead, sir.
I want to get that scripture, not now. I just want to bring that out later about the I think the Syrian Empire and the Apocryphal Ages.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir. And we got to understand, like, this was the transatlantic slave trade. I don't want to segue off too much, but we got to watch history too, because our oppressors now trying to change the transatlantic slave trade into the transatlantic migration. If you change it to the transatlantic migration, what does that mean? Well, no, when you call it the transatlantic migration, sis. Oh, wait a minute.
How we were forced. Well, migration is not something that's forced.
Exactly what she said. Just like what did you say? It was willing. There you go. You understand? And if it becomes willing, what does eventually think about this, right? We don't look forward to reparations. I don't want to get too far off. But if your migration was willing, then what do you need reparations for? You don't. So that's dead. That's a dead issue. But not just for reparations. We have to remember what history is. You understand? So this is the reason why we can't allow them to say migration, but it was the transatlantic slave trade. You understand? We have to remember history. The Bible tells us that we have to remember the things that have happened to us. We're the only nation of people who are always told we need to forget about it. But every year we see what? Don't we see that Anne Frank? Don't we see the Holocaust? Don't we see all of these nations that celebrate the things that have happened to them? We watch people get reparations. We watch people get reimbursed for the things. Even think about this. Even in that, what was that, World War II, when they put all of those Asians in concentration camps, they got reparations for that. They're not told to forget that. We're told to forget our history. The slave masters got reparations for losing those slaves. And not only that, they're talking about reparations for oppressors now. Did y'all see that? Slave oppressors are talking about giving oppressors reparations. Reparations for what? When you got everything. Go ahead, sis. Hey, listen. Listen, for what? Exactly, when you got everything, right? And not to segue off, but y'all need to check out that new show that's out now, Yellowstone. That's real history. Yellowstone. They got 1923 coming out now. And me and my rib binged it. Hell of a show. And it's a hell of a show from watching what history really did. The only thing that I didn't see in it was slaves. But they showed the Native American Indians. And they showed the horrors, you know? But anyway, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again by way of ship. This is the way we got here, by way of slave ship. Our history is in this book. And one thing that we have to also understand is that the Bible is not a religious book. It's a way of life. You understand? The Bible is our moral compass. It tells us how to act amongst each other. It tells us how not to act. This is the reason why it tells us not to go in the way of the heathen. You understand? We have to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. The Bible has never been a religious book, but in the hands of our oppressor, it has become a religious book. This book is just a way of life. This book has history in it. We talking about it right now. We're seeing a piece of history. This book even has history about Alexander the Great. That's in the Apocrypha. That's in Maccabees. You understand what I'm saying? This book has a lot of history that correlates with our oppressor's history. We have to understand what we're reading. When we read and when we listen to preachers and pastors, they don't read us this. They don't tell us these things. They make us believe that we're just blessed to be included when this book is about us. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? Okay. All right. And it says, by the way whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, seeing our land no more again. You understand? We look at ourselves and when we tell people on the street that we are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, we look at each other like we crazy. You know why? Because we get an image. When we hear Jew, the first image we get is of the oppressor. We see that and we look at that. That's a horrible look. That's something I definitely don't want to look like. You understand? Even before I came to the truth, I didn't believe because I know what they look like, and I look nothing like that. I know that's not my image, but they have stolen that image.
Is there a difference between Jew and Israel?
A Jew is just short for Judah, the tribe of Judah or the nation of Judah. You understand? The so-called Jewish man is something like, that's what that word ish on the end means, something like. They know that they're not those people. Just like Kat brung out earlier, they know they have Polish background. They know that they have Germanic background. Even the language they speak, the Yiddish that they speak, which is called Yiddish, that's 2nd century German and 3rd century Polish mixed with a little bit of Hebrew. That's it. They don't even claim it to be Hebrew. Yiddish. And that's what it's called. So think about this. If their language comes from 1st and 2nd century, how could it be biblical? They tell you that. It's Yiddish. It's not even biblical. And a couple of the other books that they write are created by them so that they can live out the lascivious lives that they live, so that they could do the horrors that they do. I mean, think about how could a blessed and biblical people do the things that they're doing to the people in Gaza? How? Just like what's happening to us here today. It happens so much so we don't even put ourselves on the same parallel as those people in Gaza till you start understanding the cities and the towns that were bombed. You understand? Black Wall Street. You understand? what's that? Rosewood. You understand? They had Seneca Village. Seneca Village was where Central Park is. That was a black city right there. We don't recognize any of this. We don't correlate anything that we have because they wiped our minds clean. We don't understand who we are. We don't understand the power in us. Listen, Zephaniah 2:1 says what? Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. We don't even understand that we are a nation of people that are not desired by the other nations. Look at how the nations come into our neighborhoods and rob and pillage us. And we allow it. And we have an issue with our own brothers and sisters and we can't get along. We ready to unalive them. We ready to go hand-to-hand combat. You understand what I'm saying? Because we've been destroyed. And our minds have been painted with the customs and the culture of America. Hence, now we're celebrating Christmas. Now we're doing anything that we can to get those little trinkets and gifts for the people that we love. So much so that we'll harm somebody else to get it. We'll do something illegal to get it. Then we cry and whine when the things happen to us, and we can't understand why. The same way the people in Egypt cried out to the Most High. Think about the years that they were enslaved in Egypt until they begin to understand that we have the power. You understand? It says the scriptures tell us what? The power. Listen, what does it say? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. We've read that scripture a million times, right? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. What does that mean? You know what that means?
That Habashah ready to come back. And you ready to take over, you ready to be ready.
Almost. You almost there. But what that means is that we have the power to change our condition. The kingdom of heaven is right here at hand. That means when you talk about the hand, that means the power. You have the strength to change your own condition. All we have to do is make a mind change. Understand that the Most High is on our side. Change our condition. Listen, the Most High tells us to operate amongst ourselves. You understand? In the book of Acts, the 4th chapter, 31 to 34 verse, tells us how to operate amongst our own to spend our money within us. Ethno-aggregation. Ethno-aggregation is when a nation of people come together and build amongst themselves. Take everything that we got and build amongst ourselves. That's ethno-aggregation. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that we need is right here in this book. We've just been so destroyed by America that we fan right over this book. We could care less about what this book is about. You understand? And everybody always goes around, oh, that's a religion. That's religion. That's religion. It has nothing to do with religion. It tells you how to operate amongst the people who hate you. When you have an issue with your brother, it tells you how to operate and work that issue out. When you have an issue amongst your sister, how to go to your sister and your sister alone, or your brother and your brother alone. A lot of times what we want to do is we want to run around and we want to talk to everybody else instead of the person that we have the issue with. That's the customs and culture of America. That's what our oppressor does. And then when we do as our oppressor, that's when we go into the condition that we in. That's when we start destroying each other. That's when we start hating each other. That's what we live in right now. You see all of those housewives shows. All of those housewives shows. What do? Instead of they have an issue with somebody, instead of going to the person that they have an issue with, they'll go to everybody else first. Shalom, Lord Christ. What's going on, bro? All right, that's what's up. What's up, Ryan? What's up, my man? All right, but that's the issue that we have. When you see Atlanta Housewives and all of those housewives shows, when they have an issue with anybody in that house, they always go to 2 or 3 other people and talk about that person instead of going to that person. Well, that Bible tells us how to do it the right way. That Bible tells us to go to him and him alone. You hash that issue out with them. Nobody else should know that we have an issue amongst each other. Because think about it, right? You go to your brother and him alone, you may come to the conclusion that, damn, you know what, bro? I was wrong. I I had wrong thinking. Or your brother could say, oh, look, you know what? I never even knew I offended you like that. Man, I'm glad you came to me first. We hashed that out. Now y'all go amongst the other brothers. Nobody never knew you had a problem. That's in the book of Matthew. You understand what I'm saying? This him and him alone. This is how we are supposed to operate. We're supposed to bring our children up right under that, just like that. You understand what I'm saying? This is how we're supposed to bring our children up. So by the time our children get to our age, they already hashing everything out. And a lot of times there ain't gonna be no issues because we're gonna understand how order is, how things are supposed to be run. It says, go not. Matter of fact, where we at, Cap? I got it. It says, and thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Think about it, right? How many, they always say the Irish were, they were slaves too, but that was servitude. Show me pictures of where they unalived Irish by the thousands. Show me where they see them hanging from trees. Show me where you see them tied to trees and on fire. Just show me none of that. You understand? But everybody wants that sympathy when it comes to us so that they can wipe us out of the way or, move the goalposts. You understand what I'm saying? We are the only people who have been through this. We are the only people. Think about this. They talk about the horrors of Gaza. Go ahead.
Black people on crosses, right? Well, the Romans, it was a Roman ritual.
Right. Right. Right.
People went against their laws.
Right.
So, I mean, when you say we're the only people who went through this.
Wait. What I'm saying is the hangings, the unalivings, the murderers. We understand that the Romans did it to everybody, but we talking about right here in the Americas where the Irish say they were enslaved too in the Americas. They say that they went through horrors too, but I don't see it anywhere in the history books. Remember, they made postcards out with us on the front of postcards. You understand? They haven't. Where do you think the word picnic comes from? Pick a nigga so we can hang him. You understand? Salakia, sir. My bad. I'm sorry, TikTok. I think we got.
Good.
Oh no, we good. We good. It's just slow. It's just slow running. But understand what I'm saying. Throughout history, think about this. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from the things that have happened throughout history. Of course, people have unalived people throughout history. We understand that. You understand what I'm saying? But we talking about these horrors of slavery. You understand? We know people break the laws of the Roman laws. They got unalived, but Romans unalived Romans too. You understand what I'm saying? So we got that right there. But we talking about these slaveries. You understand? And that's just how it is. You understand? So it says we were sold as bondmen and bondwomen. You understand? We felt all of that. I don't see the Irishmen in that. Of course, in the Roman days, when you broke laws, you became a slave for a while. You eventually got your way out too. You see that? You see that movie? What's that one with Denzel in it just came out? I just seen that movie a couple weeks ago. You know which one I'm talking about, right? But they show, yeah, Gladiator. They show how the gladiators worked their way right out of that slavery. You know what I mean? You just had to be the toughest gladiator, but it's still a way out. Think about we didn't have a way out. You understand? And think about this: emancipation. What does that mean? Say that again. Nah, nah. Give me another word. Nah. Come on, give me one more chance. You know what emancipation means, sis? Nah. He looking it up. You looking it up?
Yeah, well, I'm looking for etymology.
Right. You know it's an etymology though, right? You know it. You know it's an etymology. Listen, I'm gonna give it to you, right? Emancipation means to be moved from private property to state property. So when you emancipate a child, that means that child is no longer the property of their mother or their father, but they are property of the state. That's what it means to be emancipated. So when they use words with us, and this is what we have to watch out for with our oppressor, because every word that our oppressor uses means something. We just don't understand. So when they say emancipate, that means that you are now not the private property of that slave owner, but now you are the property of the state. Now, how do you become property of the state? How did we become property of the state? They have to create the laws to place us back in. See, it says that you are no longer a slave unless you commit a crime. So what did they do with the newly so-called freed slaves? They created black codes. Black codes. They created a law stating that if you were found on the street without $1 in your pocket, you could be arrested and put back into slavery or put into prison, which is slavery again. Now they can use you again. If you were gathered 3 or more in a group and they found you, you could be reincarcerated again. If you did not have a ID. Remember how they used to do that in the 80s? Wait.
I was born in 86.
Oh, you was born at the height. I was running in the hood at that time, right? 86. I could never forget it. Me and my man was on Bell and Garrison going up to the sub shop. The police pulled us over, made us get up against the wall and pull our sweatpants down and stood there for 10 minutes on the wall like that. We got lucky because we had ID. But these are the things that they did. Remember when they had the stop and frisk up in New York? Stop and frisk up in New York. Police could stop you and frisk you for anything. A lot of police, this is where a lot of the police became jump out boys, because they could jump out on you, frisk you, and take anything they wanted and jump back in the car and be gone. That's why we call them jump out boys. You understand what I'm saying? This is all of these codes were created so that they could rearrest us, put us back into slavery legally. You understand what I'm saying? So we were enslaved. It's the same thing that they do to our sisters. You understand? It's thousands, it's tens of thousands of sisters incarcerated today. Think about how every year, it seems that every year they releasing somebody from prison who've been in prison for 30 or 40 years and they find out they ain't do nothing. We see that all the time. That's not just by happenstance. It's done purposefully. You understand? They making money. Levi's is making money off of prisoners. Every year, when we used to watch the wildfires in California, they would have a firefighter count. The firefighters who got unalived by the fires in California every year. 20, 30, 40 firefighters dying in those, wildfires. Well, in the early 2000s, the late 90s and the early 2000s, you stopped hearing about that. Why is that? Remember those firefighter counts? Firefighters used to die in California all the time. California, Arizona, all the way up that West Coast, where they used to have all the fires out. They just had, remember Paradise, California just burned. They burned, that fire was so severe in Paradise, California, where it was melting cars and stone. They went through whole neighborhoods, and the only thing you saw was the rock chimneys that was left. All of the metal and everything else had been disintegrated. In Paradise, California. You can look that up on your phone, Paradise, California. But no firefighters' lives were lost. Why?
Sounds like they don't report it.
The firefighters or the prisoners? They have prisoners fighting those fires now. See, they don't have to risk their lives because they have slaves to put those fires out now. So now in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you stop hearing about those firefights because those people don't have to be reported. Why don't they have to be reported?
Because they already, emancipated, they
They're,
already.
they're owned by the state.
There you go. You're owned by the state. They don't have to report anything. Think about Alizar, what state was that they just found all of those bodies out the back of that old prison? Over 200 prisoner bodies they found out the back of those prisons. Hey, Salakia, what's your name again?
It's Brandon.
Brandon. I'm sorry, Salakia, Brandon. Brandon. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that in Memphis?
What?
In a down south? That was in one of those down south states that they just found. Maybe if it wasn't a few months ago, it was last year. They found over 200 bodies of prisoners behind the old prison. When was it? Last year. Right. What state was that? It was down south though, but none of them were reported. Why? Because they was property of the state. When you're emancipated, you can be placed back into slavery again. You understand what I'm saying? And then they don't have to recognize your family, especially when it comes to us. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to us. They don't have to recognize anything because technically we're not citizens. Think we citizens? Think we citizens? But I said, do you think we citizens? They just want to know who you are with an ID. That's just to know who you are and exactly who you are. So we can know who you are. Listen, understand, right? Every year since we've been so-called emancipating, what we've been fighting for?
Right.
Civil rights, equal rights. Why should we still be fighting for equal rights if we're citizens? A citizen has the rights of the state. Listen, we're the only nation of people that you see out here fighting for civil rights. Chinese people not fighting for it. Those Ukrainians come over here, they not fighting for it. The Afghans are not fighting for it. Think about this. I'm going to give you a hook. The Africans not fighting for it.
I think that there are different battles that are happening.
Wait. The Asians are not fighting for it.
The Chinese are fighting their own.
Right?
They're communists, so it's like
No. Listen to me. I'm talking about right here in America. They're not fighting for civil rights. We the only ones. You understand what I'm saying? So if we were citizens, why are they not fighting for it, but we are? We're supposed to be citizens, right? Everything in America is spoken for a reason. Everything is said in a particular way for a reason. We're fighting for something that every other nation of people come over here and automatically get. They get subsidized when they come over here. I was born in 1968. I remember when all the corner stores were owned by black people. Every corner store. You could go into a corner store that was in the neighborhood that you lived in, and if your neighborhood, if you had your address on there and they saw you all the time, you got credit in there. No interest added. If you needed something, all you had to do was come in there and they would put it on the books. Pay me when you get it. This is how black people took care of black people. But they saw we were prospering from that, even from that little bit of help. Now, when you come up, it's kids now that have never even seen black people owning the corner store. It's black people that have never even seen other black people give black people credit. The black people even ran the 7-Eleven in my neighborhood. We would go down there. She hated when we came down there. Eventually, we got a rapport with her, and she loved it when we came down there. We raised all kinds of hell until she told us what she expected from us. That's how black people could do with black children and get them in line and get them to stop acting crazy. You can't do that today because we are in the ways of America. Matter of fact, drop that. We're going to get Jeremiah 10:2. Mississippi, my bad, not Memphis, but Mississippi. That's where the bodies were found at, you know. But they don't think about it, right? How does 200 people go missing like that from a prison? Because they don't have to be reported, and now you are property of the state. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Let me get there first. Make sure everybody there first. Everybody, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Everybody there? Okay, hit that for me.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Say that again.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Hey, listen, this is the reason why we in the condition today is because we learn the way of the heathen. It's because we celebrate Christmas. It's because we celebrate Thanksgiving. The 4th of July. Think about it. The 4th of July. What's the 4th of July? Independence Day? When have we ever been independent? We ever been independent since we've been here? Where was it? Listen, 1776, where were we? Say it, sis. Give it to me loud. In slavery. Enslaved. How can we be fighting for independence when we were enslaved? That means that whole independence thing was not written for us. It was written for our oppressor. Our oppressor felt under the bondage of the British. He felt the iron fist of the British. And he wanted his own independence. And in getting his own independence, he said, to hell with us. There was no independence for us. So why do we celebrate it? Memorial Day. What is Memorial Day? They celebrate the veterans, right? Celebrating the veterans. We fought in every war in America. From the Civil War, World War I, World War II. We fought the Vietnam War, the Afghan War, the Iraqi War. They over there fighting in Ukraine. And think about this. We still over here fighting for civil rights. What's to celebrate? What's to celebrate in Memorial? You understand what I'm saying? What is there to celebrate? It says, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. You understand? We get so dismayed at the signs of heaven. We look up, we look at the stars, the moon, the sky. We say, you ever heard somebody say, listen, man, the sky and the moon, everything is aligned. This is going to be my month. You know, everything is coming into play right now. Saturn is lining up with some dog star and all of that type of stuff. We get so caught up in all of that stuff that we begin to become our oppressor. The scriptures tell us, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Let them believe in all of that stuff. You understand? What was the sister name back in the day that used to come on? Cleo. Remember Miss Cleo? I can tell you your fortune. Come down now and let me read your palm. Remember that? Jamaican lady, remember? Oh man, I was in junior high school. She was popping. I wanted to use the phone bad and make a call. I wanted to see, man, is my mother ever gonna let me off punishment? You feel me? Listen, the scriptures tell us, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. You understand? For the heathen are dismayed at them. This is what the heathen does because the heathen doesn't have a soul. He has to look towards something. You understand? He doesn't have understanding. And because he doesn't have understanding, these things thwart him. Think about how everybody went crazy when what was that, the eclipse? Man, they was giving out glasses at my job. They took a time out so everybody could go out and see. You know what I mean? I kept on working. I'm not dismayed. I'm not captivated by nothing like that. You understand? That's what the Most High tells us. Don't get captivated. They made all kinds of crazy money off of it. Some off an eclipse. The glasses that they sold went crazy. Listen, I just looked at the glasses on the top of my desk today. I still got them sitting right there. Didn't even, because you're supposed to fold them and put them over your eyes and you're supposed to look up, right? I didn't even do none of that. I just left it right on my desk and I kept on working. I saw them today. They still sitting there. These things are for the heathen. You understand? Go ahead.
Looking up into the sky, like the worship in the sky, like we get into that
Sun God Ra.
not the sun god, zodiac sign.
That too, right.
You find love,
Right.
you know what I mean? Meet, you know what I mean? The sister or brother, what's your sign?
What's your sign? Listen.
You don't know what type of person.
Remember when we talked about, we just talked about that earlier, that women are emotional. And then because women are emotional, we get caught up behind them. And we fall into, yeah, girl, I'm a Libra. I'm a Sagittarius. Yeah, where we at on the chart? You understand? Then we get caught up in all of that. Now, nah, you a what? Nah, I can't deal with you, girl. Y'all too. You know, we go through all of that. But think about it, right? You mean to tell me every Sagittarius is mean? So now we gotta watch out when we have kids. Well, you know, we can't do it right now, baby, because the baby might come out be a Sagittarius. Let's wait about 2.5 months and then we can, you know what I mean? It's crazy. That's when you get caught up in those signs. You know what I mean? Hit that verse 3 for me.
Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain.
What does that mean? What does that mean? The customs of the people are vain. Customs of the people are vain. What does it mean to be vain? Go ahead, Ryan. Oh, my man. Hey, listen, right? Y'all gonna make me go out here and have another son. Just so I can bring him up and be it. What? Oh, so you think you know it? Look at my son right here, you know? But, Ryan, you right. It's empty. It's vain. You know what I mean? The custom of the people, meaning the custom of the heathen, are vain. It's empty. It's meaningless. You understand? And we follow right behind them in the nothingness, in the meaninglessness, you know? And then we see ourselves struggling our whole lives to try to be as them. Not looking like the oppressor, but to have the things that the oppressor has and to get them by any means. Then we become vain. We become empty. You understand? Following behind them. It says the custom of the people are vain. Go ahead.
For one cut a tree out of the forest.
Say that again.
For one cut a tree out of the forest.
It says, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest. What does that sound like? That sound like, come on, Brandon, tell me, bro. Sounds like Christmas. Yeah. Listen, Brandon. We talking about this Bible. This Bible is real deal. This Bible is the real deal. It tells us not to follow these things. The custom of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree out of a forest. Go ahead, Ryan. What you got, brother?
At Christmas, to think about it, the white man made Christmas mostly for the kids, so they can celebrate, so they can celebrate Christmas, and then then they can get destroyed with the people.
Yeah, exactly. So the kids can so the kids can get destroyed with the people. Exactly. So if you celebrate Christmas and I celebrate Christmas, then we're gonna be destroyed together. You understand? This is the reason why God told us not to celebrate Christmas. You hit that right on the money. You know what I mean? We can't celebrate those holidays like our oppressor. And it says, for one, cut up the tree out of the forest. Go ahead.
The work of the handsman, the work of the hand of the workman with the axe.
Says the work of the look, I'm getting mixed up. The work of the hands of the workman with the axe, chopping that tree down out of the forest. You understand? That's the work right there, chopping it down out of the forest to bring that tree into our house. Listen, when I was young, we had that artificial tree. So the workman ain't had to cut that one down. All we had to do was go in the basement and get that box. You know what I mean? Had all the colors on it, tell you where to put. You had the color on the stick and then put that in there like that, fluff it down like that, you know, and that was it right there. You understand? But same concept of chopping that tree down. We chopped that tree down, put it in the box, and put it in the basement, wait for next year. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold.
Say that again.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Hey, listen, it says they deck it with silver and gold. They dropping that silver. Remember that little silver stuff you used to call, what we used to call icicles? Used to put the silver in the gold, and then you wrap the gold thing, go around it like a. But the icicles, I know that. But that little string thing, I can't remember what that was. But it was a gold thing that. Garland. No. Icicles. The garland is what you wrap. But all in all, you know, you decking it with silver and gold. You understand what I'm saying? Now, these are the things that the Most High is telling us not to do. These are the things that are vain. These are the things that are empty. These are the things that we are not to do. But, come on, sir. Come on, sir. Jeremiah 10. We're at verse 4 now. Hit that again, Alazar.
Yeah. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold.
You see what they're saying, right? They deck it with silver and gold. These are the things that we do. And listen, this is what makes it even harder, because when you are trained as a child, you understand? It says train up a child to go in the ways, right? And when he gets older, he shall not depart. These are the things that we cannot depart from because we were trained as a child. Sir?
Hold on, one more thing on that point you just made.
Come.
If you're trained up in Christmas,
right?
If you're trained up in Thanksgiving, if you're trained up in New Year's, right?
Right.
It's going to be difficult for you to depart from that also.
Hey, listen, Cap just said it, right? When you're trained up in Christmas, trained up in Thanksgiving, trained up in New Year's, trained up in Independence Day, Memorial Day, and all of our oppressors' holidays, you will not depart. This is the reason why we say, listen, this is the excuse that we give right now. We always say, you ever heard somebody say, well, we just doing it for the kids.
Right.
We just doing it for the kid. No, you're doing it for yourself.
Right.
But that's the excuse that we use. We're doing it for the kids. Not only that, we're ruining the kids for decades to come. Because every year it's going to be for the kids until the kids get older and the kids have kids. And then the excuse for the kids that have kids is we're doing it for the kids. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle. You understand? Go ahead.
I think the problem is that we about the Hebrew holy days.
Right. And the brother Brandon just said the problem is we don't teach them about the Hebrew holy days, which is exactly right. You understand? That's exactly right. Not only do we not tell them about the Hebrew holy days, but we don't tell them that these are unholy days that we're celebrating. Both go hand in hand. You was exactly right. You understand?
We got dedication.
It's a lot. Yes, sir. Can I move this globe? I can't see you behind
You
you.
don't need to see me.
I need to.
No, I'm saying like on that book from
Con.
Wednesday.
Con.
You want to talk about Wednesday real quick?
Wednesday is Hanukkah. Hanukkah is Wednesday. We having Hanukkah right here at the school, 3430 Eastern Avenue. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have all kinds of things. We're gonna have what's my brother? I'm gonna sit here and forget my Uriah. His cap. Is Uriah teaching that night?
Yeah, it should be.
Uriah's our teacher. He gonna be teaching that night. You know what I mean? Uriah is a heavy brother right here when it comes down to these high holy days. You understand? He is the teacher of the high holy days, right, sir? Uriah is the teacher about high holy days, right? He does most of the teaching. Con. Yep. Right. So he's a powerful brother when it comes to these high holy days. If you want to really get some understanding, Wednesday night we're gonna have Hanukkah. It starts at 7:00, right, sir? 7 to 9. You know, the same way as tonight. And Uriah is he's a real heavy brother for real, you know. So
And hey, listen, this is your excuse not for that Christmas party.
oh yeah.
Not this. I got something already. My bad.
Right.
This you got your house.
Right. This is how you get out of that Christmas party. Yeah. This is the way you get out of that Christmas party.
What's the other part?
Go ahead, sis. 7 to 9. Well, you know it's gonna run over a little bit because people gonna be eating and all that. Yeah, we're gonna have food and all of that. So if y'all brothers, Brandon and what's your name? Issa. I'm gonna remember that. You know what? I know somebody named Issa. Not Issa, but Isha. It's a sister. So I can remember it like that. Issa. I got you, Issa. Brandon and Issa. These are new brothers we got here tonight, Brandon and Issa. You know, I'm glad to have y'all here tonight too. You know, but let me get back to where I was at. Hey, Alizar. That's okay. You go ahead, you. It says they deck it with silver and gold. Go ahead.
They deck it with. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
Remember that part? They fasten it with nails and with hammers. When we was young, my mother used to have that stand that sat in the house. And
Screws.
you even had the screws like this that fasten right into to hold the tree still, just like that. Wop. And you put that, you know how you put that water in the joint. If you let that water dry out, then your tree start browning up and everything. You know what I mean? But they fasten it with nails and with hammers. You understand? Go ahead.
That it move not.
That it say what again?
That it move not.
We fastened it enough so that it moved not. Go ahead.
Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree.
The tree sitting straight up, just like a palm tree. Solid, steady, standing up there so you can look at that. Most of the time we looking up at that tree. You know what I mean? And like I said before, you got to kneel down, bow down to that tree to put that gift under it. You understand? And that's that worship of that tree.
Yeah, I have a question. So I find that many people who do celebrate Christmas, you know, one of the excuses besides it's for the kids, right?
Right.
Is, well, I'm not worshiping anybody.
Right.
You know, how is there a separation between the tradition of something they don't understand, right? But a lot of people, honestly, they don't even put in the effort of trying to learn the history.
Right.
You know, it's so ingrained, right? They don't even, but they believe that Jesus is Lord. Now, I know that you guys probably use Yahweh or,
Yahweh. Yahweh.
Yahweh, okay. I like to say Yahushua, but, if they believe Jesus is Lord and they're ignorant of the practice that they're committing, then, what ultimately what happens to them if they continue to participate in the tradition?
Well, that's iniquity against the Most High. You have the Bible, right? We have to find, just like you found this right here. Slowly, everybody has to find it. You understand what I'm saying? There is no excuse for the ignorance when the word is here. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, I was outside of there too, doing the same thing. I was celebrating Christmas. I heard some things too, but I chose to celebrate Christmas. I chose to be in iniquity with the Most High. You understand? And then I came into the truth. You understand? So you have to come in. Listen, we always, you hear people say, well, yeah, I believe in this and I believe in that. Everybody in a way have heard that it's unholy to celebrate Christmas. But because we've been so indoctrinated in America, we refuse to hear that truth. We refuse to acknowledge it. We know it's there, but we want to do this. Just like, think about this, right? We know that eating pork, Salaki, sir, go ahead, sir.
Just to add, I don't want to take up too much time. But we choose to be conformed to society, to
Right.
parents, rather than be on the outskirts. If you want to participate,
Right.
like just like when you was a child, right? You want to be with the cool kids.
Right.
You wanted to smoke behind the Walmart. You wanted to, whatever it was, you wanted to be included.
Right.
That's the real pushback. The pushback is not being included in what everybody's doing.
Right.
It's sad. It's sad that we have to teach this.
Right.
Part. You have enough sense to understand that it's wrong.
Right.
But you'll go along with it anyway, just to be included, what you say.
Right. I'm gonna give you an example.
I'm
going to give you an example, right? This is an example. When I found out that celebrating Christmas was wrong, you know what I started doing? I stopped putting up the tree and the decorations and stuff, but I kept giving my son gifts.
Right. Yep.
Oh, I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm giving my son gifts. You understand? I know it's wrong, but I still want to be included. My oldest son will tell you, we stopped putting up the tree and everything. No, we ain't doing none of that. I think I'm getting over. I'm big stuff now. You know what I mean? No, we not celebrating that. I'm just buying my son gifts. All these gifts on this day.
Right.
I'm still celebrating it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Even if you take a little piece, any piece that you take and you're still doing it, you're still celebrating.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much you break off. Even if you take a crumb, you're still celebrating.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Good. I want to give the precept.
Go ahead.
It's Luke 16, verse 27. And he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldst send him to my father's house. Verse 28, for I have 5 brothers, that he may testify to them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Verse 29, Abraham said to him, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them.
Right. You understand? Just go ahead, sir.
Also, I know I keep cutting it. I'm about to get on the goddamn stage.
Go ahead, sir.
It's so heavy. Hanukkah is about not only about the triumph over our enemies,
Right.
but the 7 brothers that pushed away from that society.
Right.
So you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know what? I'm not going to follow that cut.
And they suffered.
Wednesday, when y'all come to the class, into the service, more or less, I want to understand how. I think, like, even the story of Hanukkah, the Jewish man life. The story of Hanukkah is about the triumph over the Greeks and about these 7 brothers
Right.
that chose not to go against the Most High. We should choose not to go against the Most High. We choose not to. We should boycott. They talking about boycotting Starbucks and Walmart.
Right.
To boycott Christmas.
Period. The cap said we should. We got people trying to boycott. Starbucks. We should boycott Christmas. Period.
If y'all go to school of the true story, that's in Maccabees, and then the Apocrypha. If y'all know the true story of Hanukkah, y'all learn about it on Wednesday. If y'all there, it's going to be absolutely dynamic. And I promise.
Definitely.
It's like it's one of it's one of my favorite biblical stories to me.
And like I
think they should make this a movie.
Like I said, Uriah.
You know what I mean? Like it's real life. It actually happened in history.
Right.
It's actually You know what I mean?
Right. Like I said, Uriah teaching it, so it's gonna be right. Uriah's a natural teacher anyway, so he a teacher by trade. So
Hey, my son, last interruption.
go ahead, sir.
It's Monday, so everybody at work, we're gonna get to work in the morning.
Yeah. So
But you don't see a bunch of kids and a bunch of wives and children. But Wednesday, everybody off.
Yeah.
Y'all see the school gonna be filled to the brim. Lord allow y'all come to the school on Wednesday night.
Right.
Y'all absolutely invited. So bring your families, bring your friends. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Good. Just to add, I'm done. Hey, if I say something, all right.
Hey, Cat. This your.
Come on, man, you got it.
This. 7 o'clock. Go ahead.
You want to run to Jeremiah?
Yeah. Con.
We're gonna start with chapter 4. We're gonna go to 5.
5. Yeah, 5.
This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree,
Go ahead.
but speak not.
Listen, that tree speaks not. We worship that tree. We look at that tree as though that tree is commanding us, but that tree speak not. You understand? We're worshiping imitation God. You understand? Placing those gifts under that tree, going down on one knee to place that gift under that tree, sometimes on both knees. You understand? Go ahead.
They must needs to be born.
Say that again.
They must needs to be born.
They must needs be born. Listen, that tree can do nothing without you. Why do we worship it? Because we have been pulled into customs and cultures that are vain. You understand? We do things that are unnecessary, that the Most High told us not to do. We're worshiping a God that is not real. We're doing customs that are vain. We're doing rituals to do that. Think about it, right? It's gotten so bad now where a lot of families get together to decorate a tree. They make it a ritual. It's a ritual.
I just want to make mention of something.
Go ahead.
I normally read from the complete Jewish Bible.
This is Brandon. Say that again, Brandon.
I normally read from the complete Jewish Bible.
Okay.
And I do have different versions open right now.
Right.
This particular version says like a scarecrow in a cucumber patch. I also have the separate. I'm sure you know what that is.
The who?
It's just another Bible.
This is the reason why we read from the King James, because it's the most complete Bible that there is. No, it's the best translation from that Greek and that from the Salakia, sir. Am I right? The Greek and the
Let me explain what you said. The King James translation is the most accurate.
They most accurate.
From the this he scroll from Hebrew to English. That's all it is. Judaism is a farce and a lie. You want to not dive into Judaism. Judaism will have you sin.
Right.
Straight up. Judaism, like you think, okay, I find out I'm a Jew. I'm gonna see what these Jewish people got to offer. Meanwhile, okay, you following them. Meanwhile, you sinning against the Lord. They are wannabe Jews. You understand? A lot of these other translations and other Bibles are way off. But the King James translation to date is the most accurate translation. I'm not saying it don't got its faults. There's translations in it, but it's the most accurate.
Right.
That's what you want to go off of. That's all it is. It ain't saying, other translations don't have accurate portions in it, but overall, this King James translation or King James version is the most accurate translation from the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that's what you base it off. Just to avoid a lot of confusion.
You did good today. You made me a proud uncle today.
A lot of it more than the other versions of translation. So that's why we. I mean, again, you can repeat what I'm saying too. Also, again, young man Brandon. That's why I mentioned. Did I mention earlier about the Dead Sea? Did I mention the Dead Sea Scrolls earlier?
Cap said that the Dead Sea Scrolls, the translation of the New King James Version, is the closest translation to the Dead Sea Scrolls. The most accurate translation of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
So just to avoid confusion, this is where we at with it. It's not saying that you can't reference certain things. Because we go into Josephus sometimes, we go into other. It doesn't mean there's no accurate sources in other texts as far as the Bible is concerned.
Cap said is there are sources in other texts, but this is the most accurate in that King James. I'm talking to the people at this moment. Yeah. Just making sure everybody hear what Cap said.
Listen, I was there also. I couldn't comprehend it at first.
Right.
When you talk about, this is just historical facts.
Right. Definitely historical facts.
So we so adamant about when I hear something that ain't English.
Right.
And okay, they put this particular pronunciation in this Bible. So you'll run to it, you'll dive to it, which is normal. This is a normal reaction because you want to separate from lies. You want to separate from, you want to separate from.
Hey, Salakia, sir, if I may, you know where we get caught up to, right? And this is where I got caught up way before I came into the truth. Is I read all of those new King James version, those new international versions, because I wanted to get a better understanding of the words. See, and one thing I didn't realize is that you can look these words up in the you can Google a lot of these words and get the proper understanding. But they make it seem like when you get these other different versions that now you're getting the proper understanding. But when they start changing those words, the meanings begin to change too. And you get a different understanding. And that's where a lot of us get lost at, sir.
Not only that, but in those other translations, they'll change things just like the New King James Version.
Right.
They'll change other things. They'll change
things to give it meanings, to change the meaning.
Things that didn't even need to be changed.
Right. Cap said they'll change things to give to, and that didn't need to be changed, but you'll get a different understanding and not the understanding that you should be getting when they change those words.
Like you might be able to comprehend. If I feel myself, forgive me for keep cutting in, but you may be able to comprehend things better with just not the original text, but just the original translation at that time. Because the King James Version is not only just the King James Version or the King James translation. We're talking about 1611. We're not talking about. You understand?
Come, sir.
We're talking about history. He gathered scholars to translate this Bible from the language it was written at the time. Now, I don't want this class to be about translation and stuff like that. So let's just finish.
Right.
Because we'll go on to 10 o'clock. We'll go on to 10 o'clock talking about translation, and we can get there.
Right.
Well, listen, I know I'm off tomorrow, but I'm going to do my second job tomorrow. So listen, hey, listen, come on, bro.
I get to get some rest tomorrow. I get to get it. No. Don't be like it. Don't be like that. Hey, listen. Listen, and just touching on what you said, Cap. They're now trying to change and take books out of the Bible, the Roman Catholic Church. They're trying to do that now because they want to fit other genders in. All right. So that was something they were talking about a couple of weeks ago, came on the news, that they want to take certain books out and certain things out of the Bible. Now, I know that's not biblical because the scriptures tell us what? Not to remove anything or not to take away or add anything, right? So, and with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. We are the descendants of the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. And the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Captain Saparia.
Thanks so much, son, bringing out a powerful class. I like to clap it up for the new young men coming in class tonight. Listen, you know what the scriptures say about new young men coming in the church? It says the angels rejoice. Yeah. The angels, yeah. You understand? That's an amazing thing. Like we think it's a light thing.
Yeah, I remember I was on that side.
Bro, come on. Forget about it, right? Forget about it. Do I got the security announcements in here? In one of these? It's in one of these.
Should be in the head.
Second priest, I got a head.
The head.
Okay, I got it. You got a precept for me? Go ahead.
Luke chapter 15, verse 7.
Go ahead.
I say you that likewise joy be in heaven.
Being where?
In heaven.
Now, heaven, we ain't talking about the heaven that's going to be on the earth. We talking about the heavens in the heavens.
Right.
Everybody got the scripture? We in Luke where?
Chapter 15.
We in
verse
Luke
7.
chapter 15, verse 7. Now, mind you this here. This is a precept directly talking about brothers that's coming into the truth, coming into the knowledge of the Most High in Christ. You understand? Go ahead. Please read.
I say to you that likewise joy shall be in heaven.
Joy is in heaven. Joy, laughter, and happiness is in heaven. Go ahead.
Over one.
Over what?
Over one.
Over one. Just one. One brother that get the, you know what? These brothers on the corner, they might be up to something. I'm gonna go to class one time. Right? There's joy in heaven because of that. You understand? They coming into the little sanctuary the scripture speaks of. Everybody understand? We did before I get to these scripture security announcements. Go ahead.
Over one sinner that repented.
They're repenting. He said, you know what? I ain't following Christmas. I ain't following Thanksgiving.
Right.
I ain't following the what? The customs of the other nations.
Right.
But they are vain. Go ahead.
More than 190. It's like more than over 99 just persons.
Go ahead.
Which he no repentance.
Go ahead. Meaning it's a small percentage. It's a very tiny, tiny, small thing. Over the thousands of brothers that's in Baltimore City. How many brothers in the Baltimore camp? It's a handful. It's a handful. It's a handful, like a sprinkle of wisdom in Baltimore. That's what it is, like a sprinkle.
Right.
A sprinkle of brothers that, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Right.
I'm going to stand up for the people. I'm going to teach the people. I'm going to groom the people. I'm going to bring the people back to righteousness, back to a standard of morality.
Right.
It's just a sprinkle of people. Sprinkle of brothers, sprinkle of sisters that want to be moral, that want to be just, that want to be modest. A sprinkle of it, right? That's how dynamic it is. I know I might be prolonging a little bit. I will teach you. Hey, but I will teach you a whole nother class. You know what I mean? Go ahead, let's finish it though. Let's finish. Go ahead.
But that's in 71.
Anything on 8 and 9?
It goes into the metaphor of the find using
No, you can hold it there, but nonetheless, the angels rejoice. Nonetheless, the angels rejoice. A brother, a sister, finding the truth. Coming. Y'all got any questions? Young man, Brandon.
Oh, I have a ton of questions.
Okay. Other young man, what's your name again?
Issa.
Issa. Okay. No questions? Listen. When you got work tomorrow? I mean, I got to work tomorrow, but I ain't got to work the big man. Y'all good? All right, no sweat. We'll be here tomorrow and Wednesday and Saturday as we are here every week. All right. Yeah. So please, bring your questions, sister. Questions? Okay. All right. See, I tried to extend them a thumb.
Right.
They say loud. Okay.
Well, actually,
Go ahead.
so, okay, look, I understand, right? The scripture that says a little leaven, leaven's the whole bread, right? Like a little bit of sin, right? Is still sin.
Right.
I'm just trying to understand in regards to Christmas, right? Like, I'm trying to understand.
Brother said he trying to understand it. In regard to Christmas, go ahead.
I'm trying to understand the fine line. So, like.
Hold on. You said you're trying to understand the fine line?
The fine line.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there are tons of churches out here.
Tons of churches.
Right.
The brother said, go ahead.
That, tons of Christians.
Tons of Christians.
Who celebrate Christmas.
That celebrate Christmas. I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Right. There are people who celebrate Christmas probably related to it.
Go ahead.
So now I'm not actively, I tell my family members that I
Brandon,
celebrate Christmas.
I dig it. What's the initial question?
I'm just, so during this time of year, people like to spend time with people, right? And it's like, do I say, oh, they have a Christmas tree in this church? I shouldn't be in this church.
You goddamn right. Yes. You know what? He said, you know what? Y'all is doing Christmas. I'm doing me. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I got children. My children, I tell my children, Christmas is bad. They very, very young. Christmas is bad. I do this symbol right here. And they did this back to me. They said, no, Christmas bad. Boom. They get it. You know why they're not tripping about presents? Because they get presents every 2 weeks. They get Christmas every all the time. You understand what I'm saying? They're not, people ain't doing it because of this is the only time. People are doing it because this is the time everybody's doing it.
Right.
That's it.
Another thing, right? Like recently I was invited to like a work get together.
Hell no. First of all, I'm gonna stop you there.
Hold on.
Brandon, I'm gonna give you the answer before you ask it. The answer is no. First of all.
I still gotta finish?
I'm gonna let you answer it, but I'm gonna tell you before you. The answer is no, because you said slavery. But go ahead, give me the question, Brandon.
So
Hey, what's your name again, brother?
Issa.
We out of here soon. He said, listen, I got the key. Got my keys ready. I got my jacket on, my gloves on. I got you, Issa. We out of here soon. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
So it's my first time hanging around people from work outside.
Outside of work, okay.
So it was karaoke.
Okay.
Now, I wasn't expecting this, right? But of course, there was somebody who was super into Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and they play a karaoke song.
Right.
That's Christmas, right?
Right.
So at that point in time, right?
Hold on. Yeah, you already crossed the line. I'm gonna tell you straight up. It's a Christmas party.
Is it?
Yes. They say, oh, it's a winter party. They sprinkle anybody watch the Abbott Elementary? They did a winter thing. I love Abbott. I got a crush on the sisters a lot. I think everybody do. The short one. The main character. God damn it. But yeah, bro. You shouldn't have went to the winter party.
Well, not even that. Okay, I'll ask another follow-up question.
Follow up. You gotta make it quick.
I'm sorry.
It's ready to get out of here. It's a gotta get on the roll. Issa. I apologize on the pronunciation.
I had an argument with
Issa.
last night. She told me, she said, anybody who invites you out to a party around this time, even if it's from church, it's a Christmas party.
It is. It is.
But is it? Though?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It ain't a winter party. Brandon, you front. That's what it is. You front. You want to go to that party. It's a little bit something inside of you that want to go to that party. Listen, Brandon. First of all, it's December. Any other time of the year, are they throwing a party? First of all, are they throwing a party in August? Are they throwing a party in September? Are they throwing a company party in the month of June? You know why they not? Because it's not 4th of July yet. It ain't Christmas yet. It ain't Thanksgiving yet. They doing it in December because it's a winter and it's a festival event. It's festival. Yeah. But you know what it is? We gotta recognize it for what it is. The sister was right. If she was a sister, I don't know if she was.
Yeah.
She was right, and she said it because in your interest, she may not even be a part of the so-called Hebrew Israelite community, but she knew that you was, and she said she knew that you wasn't about that. She said, "Brother, that's a Christmas party." She was looking out for you. You need to bring her ass to class. Oh, you needed it. You know what I mean?
She celebrates Christmas.
Well, she a little bit more hit than you did. To recognize that the Christmas party is a Christmas party, not a winter festive and it's not a end of the year event. That's another one they use. They either call it a winter party or a end of the year event. That's a Christmas party. You know what I mean? If you want a true holiday experience for this time of the year, it's a Hanukkah, and it ain't as jolly as people think it is. You understand? Because we get down on Hanukkah, and we conquered our enemies on that day. And not only that, them 7 sons showed so much courage that you should carry to not go to that Christmas party. You understand? That's all it is.
We're gonna have things too.
Food and drinks and everything else. Go ahead.
I just want to get a brother this precept. I feel like you already know. Amos chapter 5, verse 21. Like, and the thing is, all of the high holy days that Most High celebrate is in Leviticus. And of course,
Put something under that.
Days, but all of the high holy days want to celebrate. So Amos chapter 5, verse 21 says,
No, not those.
I hate,
Something back there.
I
All the way back.
despise your feast days. So any day that's not in scriptures, it's not his day. It's a day that we created, we made up. He says, I hate and I despise your feast days. You know what I mean? Like he's telling like this, he's making it clear right here. So any day that we not the Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, any of that stuff, that's a tradition of man. And it's not his day that he gave us to celebrate. You understand? I just want to make it up real quick. And I will not smell in your solemn assembly. And of course, any assembly that you decide to get together, any little party, like you can see to it. You know what I mean? You already know. You see the decorations. People decorate Christmas after Halloween.
Yeah, they start getting down. Yeah. You know they got Halloween trees now. They got Halloween. Listen, they get started early. But look, hey, Alazar, let's get it roll. I'm gonna roll these security announcements though. Okay. We are ICBK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Yohana. New rules for brother and sister. When a new brother or a sister enter into the school, they are off limits. For 6 months, they are to be saluted only. They are here to show themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10, which means 10th in Hebrew, and is pronounced my Aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you to the Treasury Department or teacher priest funds, free will offering, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like to give. Okay, up and coming holy convocations, Hanukkah this Wednesday here in Baltimore.
That's right.
Okay, so I expect everybody. This place is gonna be filled with drinks, food, games,
That's right.
all of that. You understand? And no predators. Remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media such as IGBK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for IGBK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. All right. And with that, individual Maya, just the men. We want to give one courtesy, men stand up. We want to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Imadium, which means stand like this. Amayim Shabbat, which means put your hands behind your back, fist, feet apart. Amayim, which means stand straight, hands to the side, Barak, right fist over your left chest. You're going to salute the brother. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak, Athar.
How about you? How shop right? Thumb.
Yah Yamata, which means hands down. Sisters, Aymayim, which means stand. Brother Saul, which means turn. To the sister, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Amayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Atan Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah,
Yahweh Shema El Shai.
Alata,
Allah Bahashem. Oh my.
Yahweh. Repeat it after me, sis.
Yahweh
Shamar, Alatan, Alatan, Alatan,
Alatan.
Ba'ashim
Bahashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shai.
Yah Yamata, class dismissed.
Appreciate you, brother.